Hey, how is everyone doing? So, OP18 is just around the corner and we barely even got started on OP17. The announcement is out. I know some people were very hyped about a potential collaboration, but we'll speak more about that later. I've skipped past the trailer real quick. I want to talk a little bit more about the set, and also we'll look at some prices of previous sets and previous cards related to whatever that's being released in this new one. Let's hop over to the PC and take a look. So the theme for OP18, for those of you who have been keeping up with this, is Water 7, the world's greatest shipbuilding city. So I'm expecting a bunch of different characters related to the Water 7 arc that's going to be released in this new set. So that would be maybe CP9, that means Lucy and the gang, be the whole of Tom's crew. So spoiler alert for those of you who are just starting out in One Piece and haven't gotten to the Water 7 arc, this is where Franky actually joined the Straw Hats. There's also a bunch of interesting stuff. If you haven't read the manga or watched the anime, I don't really want to spoil much. So let's continue on with the cards. So right here we can see a teaser that a Franky card is going to be appearing. So finally, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first Franky leader card. And by the way, my channel mostly focuses on Japanese cards because I'm in Asia, specifically in Taiwan. So I don't really cover English, but I'm looking at the English trailer now because it's easier for me as it's all in English rather than I have to look at Japanese, try to translate it, because my Japanese is very basic. I can only read certain words and I have to look at individual letters and piece the words together, so yeah, it's easier for me. Also, I don't cover the game because I'm not a player, so for those of you who are players, forgive me if I offend you in any kind of way, or for those of you who get really mad that, you know, someone's covering the more investment and financial aspect and collecting aspect of the TCG, then please click away. Anyway, this is the new leader for Franky. So, and at the bottom there, we can see there's the Water 7, the Franky family, and the Straw Hat crew. So I assume you can play a bunch of other cards who also have that same categorization. And surprise, surprise, we have an alt art leader Franky, which is pretty nice, I have to say. And I think it's one of the very first alt arts that has a all white background. So I'm not talking about the alt arts you get in the starter decks, you know, the Luffys that I'm talking about, and also the ones in EBO2, if I'm not mistaken, those little bit of off-white kind of color. I'm not sure if you know what I'm talking about, but I'll put a picture there so you can see. This alt art looks pretty sick. I have to admit, Franky is not my favorite character. It's not even close to being one of my favorite characters, but the art here is, I think, not bad. The background, the super background, kind of reminds me of if you collect sports cards, or if you have seen sports cards in the wild, you know, those Kaboom cards. So I'll put a picture up here. I'm not a sports cards collector, but I've attended many card shows and I've seen many sports cards vendors who sell that kind of Kaboom cards, so I think they were going for that kind of aesthetic. I have to say I'm not disappointed. It looks pretty nice. It definitely will go well with one of my all-white card cases that I have, so I'm looking forward to getting one of these cards. Since this is being the first all-art Franky, I think the price is not going to be cheap at all. I think you have heard the rumors and everyone has been waiting for this. We are finally going to have a Manga Robin. So for those of you who don't know, we didn't have a Manga Robin up to this point, from OP01 all the way to OP17. This is the very first manga Nico Robin. So I think many of you are going to be excited. I'm okay because I'm not the type who collects waifu cards. I'm not a hentai. I'm just kidding. I know some of you like to collect these cards, but power to you. You know, you have your preferences. I'm alright. I prefer the male protagonist. I'm not being sexist, so don't you dare write in the comments about me being that, okay? Anyway, other than this being the first Robin card, I think there's nothing fantastic about it. The art is not exactly amazing. I don't really like the green border that's around this because green is not really my favorite color, and I don't think it fits the manga panel. Maybe it would have fit purple or red. And if you notice a small little detail, the One Piece stem is now a bit higher up. Originally it was here between this cube and the name here. So I'm not sure if that's just a misposition or it was intentional. We'll find out when people start pulling the card. And you should be pleased to know that the Manga Robin is not the only highlight of this set. So if you have read the manga or if you are keeping up with the anime, you would know what scene this is. This is the scene where Shamrocks and Gunko appear. As you know, this doesn't really make sense to me, right? It being Water 7, why are Shamrocks and Gunko appearing when they are in Elbaf? Same goes for all the other sets. That's just a little bit confusing. Anyway, now we can see, so we don't only have a Franky leader, we have a Saint Gunko leader. So she is from the Holy Knights of God, Saint Gunko. So this is just a normal leader card. It's very normal, I guess, nothing fantastic. Are they going to disappoint you with just a normal leader? No. They are also giving us an alt-art Gunko leader, which shares the same kind of white background as Franky, and the effect looks pretty damn amazing. I'm not sure if she has Conqueror's Haki because I'm seeing Black Lightning streaks. I still do not know, but I would expect, she being from the Holy Knights of God, she better have some Conqueror's Haki as well. Maybe not, you know, who knows. This art pretty damn nice. I especially like the black Haki streaks and the white background. For those of you who don't know, my favorite colors are white, black, and red. So this is also one of the cards that I would really want to get. And now we have the Captain of the Holy Knights. We have a character card. This is probably going to be an SEC. The art looks pretty good. I'm not sure who the artist is. If you know the artist, let me know. And at the highest rarity for the 4th anniversary is here once again. And if you think that alt art leader Gunko was the end of it, you are sadly mistaken. So this card I think is following the same rarity as OP17 for the rocks and the Luffy Pirate Crew rarity. I'm just going to call it Pirate Crew rarity because that's easier to differentiate. This is an SR card with the star above, so it's still an alt art, and it features her crew at the back. So I would just call it the Pirate Crew rarity, which is the highest rarity tier right now in the game. So as you can see, it's all black. I have to have this because black is my color. We can see Gunko in the front and her whole team at the back, including Imu. Pretty amazing, and I think this will go well with my current OP13 God Pack Gorosei. This is definitely going to be the chase. I'm not sure if it's going to be the same price as Rocks and Luffy of OP17. I would expect it to be somewhere in the realm. Gunko is not exactly everyone's favorite character. Now this is where I think everyone was excited about. You heard rumors about a potential collaboration, and you heard that it was going to be Final Fantasy. I don't know about you, but I was thinking it was going to be a collaboration on the whole entire set. But no. The following cards are going to be drawn by Yoshitaka Amano, who is the character designer and visual artist of the Final Fantasy series. First up, we got Loki. So Loki is my favorite character in the whole Elbaf arc, and not just Loki, because spoiler alert, I love his Nighthawk form. But unfortunately, we do not have a Nighthawk card at the moment, but hopefully down the road we maybe have a manga, or maybe we'll have one of the Pirate Crew rarity cards of Loki, and that would be freaking amazing. I will probably buy a few copies of that. So this is an alt art Loki card. So the background kind of looks full art with the exception of that gold border. I don't want to be this disrespectful, okay? But this is just my personal taste. It kind of looks like a kid painted it, and maybe this just doesn't suit my taste, but that's how I kind of look at it right now. We also have a Shamrocks card drawn by the same person, same art style. Looks kind of weird if you ask me, but you know, people are still going to go crazy about it because this is going to pull in a bunch of the Final Fantasy fans, and I expect the demand to also kind of be there. So then again, no offense, just a personal taste. So for the most part, that's the end of the trailer. So I just realized that we don't really have other cards to compare these new OP18 cards with, because these are pretty much new cards. So I'll probably end the video here. I'm also going to do another video on EBO5. I think we can do some price comparisons and talk a little bit more about previous sets like EBO3, because that's the previous all-female set. So that's pretty much the end of it. If you like this video, I hope you give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.